The following footage is meant for adults 18 and older. Thank you. Yo, what's up everybody? Today's video is going to go a little bit differently. It's going to be a bit shorter. I do a lot of pharmacology content, but if you know me, I'm a huge fan of Fallout, alright? I love that game. And if you're a fellow John Fallout enthusiast, then you are well aware that in the Fallout games, there are all sorts of drugs. And some of them are, quite addictive, and they will debuff your character, and some of them are not addictive and just add help. In this video, I'm pretty much just going to be explaining, like, which ones would I do. But I guess I'll also be, like, estimating what each one is. Because, like, Fallout is a fictional RPG game, so it's not like John Fallout's showing the player his chemistry manual. You know what I mean? So with my real-world knowledge of pharmacology, I'm going to try and give estimates of what these Fallout drugs are. Y'all remember Psycho? It's basically just an intermuscular, like, syringe, and it's fucking PCP. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything I've found in my very brief research said the developers wanted to add something like PCP, a dissociative anesthetic. Now, Psycho is one of those drugs in the game that existed before the nuclear war, so it was actually produced and sold. And its use did exist before the war, so yeah. Now, that's similar to mentats, which are a pre-war drug as well. They function more as a nootropic, so a very wide array of drugs function as such. So it's very hard to, kind of give a distinction to it. But I would assume that it's either something that counts as a nootropic, but produces more recreational effect. Because look, my initial thought was it was like a supplement, like theanine. But then I realized Adderall counts as a nootropic too. So it could be that. But if they had access to Adderall, which is like dextroamphetamine, why would they have to use Jet, which is Brahmin shit, for amphetamines? I mean, which is accurate in the lore. It was invented to be a decent amphetamine. They were trying to make shrooms, but they got high as fuck from the Brahmin shit used in the substrate. And this is all disclosed in Fallout 2. This little fucker tells you, basically, how he invented Jet. He's horrible. If you have low intelligence, he'll try to rape your character. But Myron being a piece of shit aside, right? I honestly don't think mentats function as an amphetamine of any kind, because if it did, why the fuck are they inhaling Brahmin shit for an amphetamine? So a lot of people that I know have been saying that they think mentats are Adderall, and I personally disagree for that reason. If motherfuckers in Fallout had Adderall, they would find a way to freebase it and smoke it, not use Brahmin shit. The wasteland's very barren, y'all. They would literally rather huff the shit of this creature, right, than freebase mentats and smoke it. I just really don't believe John Fallout had the fucking advantage of Adderall at his disposal. I'm pretty much sticking to my old theory that mentats pretty much are going to function as a supplement nootropic from like a vitamin store. The next drug I want to talk about is Day Tripper. In Fallout, it's pretty much classified as like a minor hallucinogenic, which interests me because in Fallout New Vegas, it takes away addiction temporarily. So immediately I thought of Iboga, or ibogaine, which is, the alkaloid within iboga. And this is a plant, sometimes it's extracted from a root. It originates in multiple regions in Africa, but it kind of gained some popularity in America. It's not legal here, but from my understanding, it intrigued people due to its ability to alleviate symptoms of addiction, and amazingly alleviate symptoms of addiction to opioids, which we have a very bad opioid crisis right now in America. Ultimately, I would say that iboga should be fucking legal, especially due to its safety. But apparently in Mr. Fallout's universe, that was not a problem since they had that shit readily available. Fucking stupid game anyway. So all in all, I believe Day Tripper is probably a synthesized version of ibogaine. And if I'm being honest, out of all of the drugs or chems that I've seen so far, Day Tripper is probably the only one that I would do. Especially since, look, Med-X is a painkiller, right? And it's not acetaminophen. So it's probably an opioid derivative in that intermuscular syringe. Whereas I feel like a stim pack would probably just be, that unrealistic healing effect, but also like a numbing maybe. Because in the game, you can't get addicted to them, but you can get addicted to Med-X, and there's tons of talk about people using Med-X like heroin, which makes a lot of sense. So we can assume that Mr. House was fucking blasting off every single night in the Schlump town. Which I don't have an inherent issue with as long as he has some fucking Day Tripper nearby, you feel me? Next chem I wanted to talk about was Daddy O. Increases intelligence and perception while decreasing your charisma. Now, the lore says it was popular with beatniks and intellectuals before the war, which is really useful information. It's pre-war. But other than that, we do not know shit about Daddy-O. We don't know anything about it. My absolute best guess is it's some sort of microdose dissociative that gives you some sort of clarifying effect. And the reason I'm not just saying it's flat out ketamine is because I don't know if that exists or not in Fallout already. As I just pretty much recently learned that in the first and second Fallout, growing drugs is a pretty big deal in the game series. A lot of people want to do it. Thankfully, there's no fucking vape masters in Fallout, but what you can do is get weed in Fallout 2. However, Fallout 2 weed makes no fucking sense. It's one single weed leaf, it's not a nug, and it's not like you smoke it, you just eat it, and then it decreases your fucking intelligence and shit. I'm really trying to figure out what, like, Fallout motherfuckers would use as their nitrous oxide. And I feel like their ketamine would probably just be, like, psycho. Because all that is pretty much supposed to just be a very intense dissociative anesthetic. And it was supposed to be a war thing, like, for soldiers. I'm gonna just put an abrupt end to this shit. I think that's all I really want to review. There's like too many chems other than that. They're just all like combinations and shit. But yeah, I'm probably gonna stick to Day Tripper if I ever had to choose. Cause hey, we geek hard, but we don't geek hard enough to just choose from a bunch of intravenous fucking syringes. That's crazy. I would much rather just be mouthing down Iboga. And then maybe getting my hands on some of the Arroyo tribe's ganja for real, because that's my own. Weed is my favorite medicine of them all. For sure, it is. So I guess to make this video real fucking short, the only drug I would ever do if I was in this universe is probably weed. And if you think you'd do jet, no you wouldn't. It's literally cow shit. Why the fuck could they not just grow ephedra? Anyways, I hope y'all liked the video. Enjoy your day.